Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to all of you for this wonderful Global Women Empowerment Sessions 2020. I'm Sri Lakshmi from UK, practicing this meditation from the past 12 years and spreading and teaching this meditation in UK from the past 8 years. Under the guidance of Patriji, we are doing this Triple One Days Global Goddess Meditation Circle with Triple One Feminine Masters across the globe. The main intention behind this Triple One Days Global Goddess Meditation with Triple One Feminine Masters across the globe is to create unified global collective grid on this planet Earth, which helps to raise the collective consciousness on this Mother Earth. So today we have with us Jennifer Cahill. She'll be speaking about realizing our heart desires. So what a wonderful topic she has chosen. Yes, the heart chakra is a central focal point and a bridge that connects the first three chakras related to the external world and to the three higher chakras associated with intuition and spirituality. When we open our heart and when we feel deeply connected, so we exchange this harmonious exchange of energy within all of us, my dear friends. So before starting of our session, let's meditate for 2 minutes. So I request everyone to please close your eyes and start focusing on your normal and natural breath. Let's invite all the divine goddess energies. Let's invite angels, archangels, and all the higher beings of love and light. Connect with them and do meditation, my dear friends. Be open and receptive. All the healing energies flowing from these divine beings. Let's send and radiate this love and compassionate energies flowing from these divine beings to all the beings on this planet Earth. May all the living beings on this planet Earth live happy, healthy, and peaceful. So be it, so it is. Now gently place your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds, and you can slowly open your eyes. Friends, I take this privilege to introduce this great master, compassionate soul, and such an amazing and lovely human being, Jennifer. Jennifer, I'm really touched with your unconditional love, and you're so down to earth. Friends, Jennifer Cahill has appeared on many major news outlets around the world, including KNX Radio, BBC News, ABC, NBC, Fox, and E! News. In addition, Jennifer has been featured speaker for various conferences, law firms, and corporations around the United States. Jennifer is deeply passionate about contributing to her community. She built her first school in Nepal in 2017 by partnering with buildon.org and recently built her second school in Senegal in November of 2019. In 2013, Jennifer published her first book, Stop Hoping and Start Hunting, a job seeker's guide to finding a dream job. And recently, she released her second book, 101 Spiritual Tools for Uncertain Times. In 2019, Jennifer co-founded Metaphysics, which is a convergence of the metaphysical world and the business world. In this, Jennifer shares metaphysical principles that she has learned from studying spiritual principles over the past 15 years. She shares how these principles can be harnessed by business leaders to create lasting happiness, success, and great profitability for win-win solutions in all business arenas. In 2020, Jennifer co-created the Coalition for Global Unity. The coalition offers free weekly meditations from world leaders, teachers, and influencers on Awake TV network at 12 p.m. PT every Monday. And Jennifer also hosts a show on Awake TV network called Conversations for Consciousness, where she recently interviewed Deepak Chopra and Don Hoffman about their new respective book on consciousness. Without taking much time, I welcome today's goddess Jennifer in this Triple One Days Global Goddess Meditation Circle. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Sri. Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you to everybody out there tuning in now or in the future. It is such a pleasure to be in heart harmony with everyone out there. What a joy when Sri offered me the opportunity to be here with you and to talk about this. I wasn't quite clear yet on what would make the biggest difference, so I did what many of us do, and I went into meditation and I asked, Universe, what would be in the highest and best good of our viewers who are tuning in today and in the future? And the message I got was connecting to our heart's deepest desires. That is how we achieve fulfillment, not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity. When we realize our life's passion, our purpose, and our desires being fulfilled, it gives us greater opportunities to share love, share light, and to have each and every one of us be in harmony and unity with ourselves and the world. Now, before we get into today's topic, I thought it might be valuable for me to share with you a story about when this became my passion, was teaching people and learning about this. Many, many years ago, I was in a program called Landmark Education, now called Landmark Worldwide. And between the classes that I did, the personal development classes in Landmark Worldwide, and studying books such as Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, one of my favorite books, and utilizing meditative practices, I came up with a concept that I like to call a statement of intent and a daily declaration. So what that entails is, first, one of the steps in fulfilling ourselves and the world is to ask ourselves, what really matters to me? That's right. What really matters to me? How often do we take the time to consider what it is that we want or what it is that those around us want? So as I began to play with this concept, I would ask everybody in the office of the recruiting firm I worked with at the time, I would ask them, what matters to you? What really, if I could give you magic fairy dust and go poof, and boom, your heart's desires would be realized, what would that be? And it started off as just a fun practice that we would create. And in fact, this was around the time that the movie What the Bleep Do We Know came out. And so I would actually make people little cups of water every day. We had these plastic cups. And every day for all 25 people in the office, I would go around and I would ask people, what matters? If I could give you anything, whether it's something physical, such as money, a way of being, such as love or harmony or joy or gratitude, what would that be? And it was a really fun game. And everybody in my office and I would write down on their plastic cups in permanent marker what their intentions were for the day. And we would write it on the cup, and then we would drink out of that cup every day. And this practice grew and grew until the company went on to have its most successful year they've ever had, that they had ever had up until that point in business. So then it dawned on me, I said, what if we could create an intention of what we really, really want, and then we could declare it out loud every single day. So this was a mishmash and a culmination of many different disciplines that I had studied up until that point. So what I did is I started teaching people how to set an intention. What is an intention and what is a desire? An intention is something that it's similar to a goal, but different. For me personally, how I differentiate the two, a goal feels like a have to, like you have to get it done. An intention has an aspect of letting go. And the desire for me, where the desire comes in, is what fuels and uplifts the intention so that it can be realized. Now, one of the most important aspects, whether you're desiring something, intending something, or even creating a goal, is to desire it and want it and simultaneously let it go. and know and trust that your highest and best good is being done in any moment. So I'm going to share with you about this technique that I taught people many years ago and that I still teach people to this day, and I wrote about in my first book, Stop Hoping, Start Hunting. So what this technique is, you first start by connecting to your intention. What is your intention? An intention could be any number of things. Do you want your dream house? Do you want to find your soulmate? Perhaps what you really desire is creating a business or writing a book. Or for me, I want to help people. By the time I die, I want to know that I have touched the lives of millions of people and helped people to realize their truth. So an intention can be something physical and material, or it could be a way of being or a feeling that you might desire. All things are equally as important. For today's example, I'm going to share with you a story of a woman who lost her job. It was November of 2012, not long after the Great Recession had happened. At this time, I sat down with this woman in downtown Los Angeles. We were sitting at a Starbucks coffee shop, and she was bereft. She was so sad. She said to me, Jennifer, I don't know what I'm going to do. It was November 1st, and she had just been laid off from her job that she had been in for the past 10 years. She was so sad, and she said, Jennifer, I'm the breadwinner in my family. I have 2 children, I have my husband, and now I have no job, and we're heading into the holidays and Christmas. And so we sat there, and I'm going to teach you step number 1 of fulfilling your heart's desires. Step number 1, before we even get to the statement of intent and daily declaration, is to notice what we say and how we perceive the thing. So here she is, and she says to me, Jen, it's terrible. I have no job. We're going into Christmas. We're going into Thanksgiving, and I'm the breadwinner. And I said, great. When was the last time that you had 8 weeks off with your husband and your 2 children around the holidays? And she looked at me and she said, well, God, Jennifer, I've never had that. I mean, I've been the breadwinner. I've always been working really hard. I said, perfect. Let's start with that. What if this is the greatest gift you've ever been given? The fact that you've been laid off around this time? What if I could tell you with perfect 100% certainty and clarity that you will have a job, but there are going to be specific things that you need to do in order for you to be able to manifest and have your heart's desires fulfilled? And she said, please, anything, Jennifer, I'm game. I said, great. So let's first start by looking at this as a gift. First, we notice our perceptions, and we find a perception that empowers us about whatever it is we desire or we want. Second, we notice what we say. How are we speaking about the thing or the situation we want? Is it a conversation about, I can't have what I want? Is it a conversation about, it's not fair, or it's not going to work out? Or is it a conversation about how it can work out, about how everything is being worked out in your highest and best good? So as we sat there talking, I said, great, do you trust me? And I don't know why, here we had just met. I had never met this woman before. And she said, yes, Jennifer, I do trust you. I said, here's what I would like you to do. First, no matter who you talk to, talk about how this is a gift. Secondly, what would you like? Again, if I could just give you magic fairy dust and you could have exactly what you want when you wanted it, what would that look like? Well, in her case, she said, Jennifer, if I had it all my way, I would love to have a job within even closer to home, 6 miles of my house. I would love to be making a couple $1,000s more. That would be amazing. Now, keep in mind, this is 2012 when supposedly jobs were hard to come by, according to a lot of people who had that conversation at the time. So she said, I'd love to be making more money, closer to home, and I would love to have a better work-life balance. I said, great. We have now just created your statement of intent. So I said, what I would like you to do is I'd like you to write down exactly what you just said. And I said, by when would you like it? And she said, well, God, Jennifer, like you said, by Christmas would be amazing. So that's 2 months away, mind you, at that time. She said, by Christmas or New Year's, that would be exceptional. So that day we sat down and she wrote out her statement of intent. She said, by December 31st. So there's a couple elements to a statement of intent. And you can use this for money, happiness, soulmate, house, anything you can fathom, you can use this technique for. You write down by when. Now, I will say I have found that 90 days seems to be the peak optimum opportunity to manifest what you desire, though in many cases, I've seen people use this technique and manifest things in as few as a couple of weeks, or as you'll see with this story, in as little as 2 months. So she wrote down, by December 31st, 2012, I have a position that is paying me $60,000 or more within 6 miles of my house that I love going to work every day. So that's it. That was the statement of intent. So that's step one, once you have the statement of intent. Step two is to declare it out loud every day. Now, when do you want to declare it? The secret to this technique is to declare it as soon as your eyes pop open. The moment your eyes pop open in the morning, that is when your brain is still in what's called an alpha wave state. The funny thing is, when I created this technique over 10 years ago, I didn't know any of this. I was just going based on intuition and the things that I'd learned from my teachers at the time. And so one day I was sitting in a class and a neuroscientist friend of mine in the class said, "Wow, Jen, it's so funny that you optimally chose to do this first thing in the morning, because that is when your brain is most suggestible and you're going to be most likely to be able to create and manifest what you want." So you start every single day, the moment your eyes pop open, the very first thing you do is you say out loud your daily declaration. By December 31st, 2012, I have a position, whatever it might be, and be clear on what you want. Being clear on what you want is really powerful. The reason most of us, not most of us, cancel. The reason some of us can be frustrated with not getting what we want is because we're not clear. People might say, I want a job, or I need to pay my bills, or I just need to survive. Your words are powerful. Your words create your world, and everything you speak becomes the truth in your world. That's what everything that I've been talking about with Don Hoffman and Deepak Chopra over the last 3 months in our series on consciousness has been about, is about how our consciousness is literally making the world that we live in. So now you have your daily declaration. Now, I remember when I started doing mine years ago, I would do this for myself based on how much money I wanted to make in a year. And at the time, my boyfriend would get so irritated because I would say out loud, by December 31st, 2005, I am creating the possibility of earning $100,000 or more. And, he was getting a little irked by it. But by the end of that first year, when I made $120,000, I was 24, 25 years old, he started cheering me on in the morning. Here's what I want to share with you that is so important. The secret is you. Do not let yourself get distracted by the material world or worrying about what other people think, and create it as a habit. You do this for at least 21 days, it will become like breathing for you when you wake up. And as you begin to flex this muscle and expand your capacity to do this, you will notice that your ability to have anything you want will be fulfilled for you. So let's go back to the story of the woman. So we sat down, we wrote out her statement of intent, and some people who I've taught this to, they like to have it written on a mirror, they like to have it written maybe in a journal or an iPhone. But what this particular woman did is she wrote it down on a piece of paper. Now, life went on, and she went out and she spent a great amount of time with her family during the period, and she proceeded to apply to jobs as they came up. Well, on Christmas Eve of that year, 2012, I got a call from her. She was in tears. I still remember right where I was when I got the call from her, and she said, "Jennifer, I want to thank you for the gift you gave me of having these last 7 weeks with my family. It's been the best 7 weeks of my life. And because of you, I knew with perfect certainty I would get the job I wanted. And just today, I got a job offer, paying me more money, closer to home, and it's my dream job." And 8 years later, she's still there. Why do I share this with you? Because you are powerful. You are so powerful. I'm going to tell you a dirty, dark secret about myself that a lot of people don't know. I stopped doing this between the years, I think it was 2008 and 2011, because I became so afraid of the power of whatever I said would be made manifest. And this is not just something I've done or that one woman has done. This is something thousands of people have done and have had success with. When you start to realize that you're worth it, you deserve to have what you want, that is when you become powerful. Now, the reverse side, I'm going to backtrack for a moment here and talk about how do you even know what matters to you? That is where meditation comes in. That is where what Sri started us off with today, talking about the heart and the power of the heart chakra. Our heart knows exactly what we desire. Unfortunately, the noise of society, the noise of our egos, the noise of everything going on in our lives is so loud, it creates static on the line, and that's why we can't hear the voice of our soul, the voice of our heart, of what our heart really desires most. I am a huge advocate of the HeartMath Institute. I've been lucky to collaborate with Dr. Roland McCready on some projects on Awake TV Network, which I highly recommend. If you want to learn and spend hours getting into free videos on learning how to connect to your heart, a huge advocate, go check out all of the videos on awaketvnetwork.live for HeartMath, or you can also go on YouTube and they have many free videos on there. I'm going to share with you a story of how my business coach taught me many years ago how to listen to my own heart. Your heart is so powerful, and the people at HeartMath have validated this. Dr. Joe Dispenza and his team have validated this. Our hearts can hear clear yeses and nos and give us messages when we learn to meditate and tune into what we really want. Now, this is kind of a very jarring example, but it actually works really well. So I'm going to warn you right now, this is a little bit of a graphic content, but it is impactful. So what my business coach said to me, he said, Jen, I'm going to teach you how to listen to your heart. And this must have been about 7 years ago. And I laughed and I said, oh, listen to my heart. I wasn't quite ready for that conversation yet. So I was a little bit skeptical, but I said, okay, I'm willing to give it a shot. And he said, I want you to imagine a basket overflowing with puppies and kittens. He's like, do you like puppies and kittens? And I said, yeah, I love puppies and kittens. He said, great. So imagine this basket overflowing with puppies and kittens. And I was like, oh, it's amazing. And so he said, great, Jen, where does that feel in your body? So I want each of you to take a moment and to ask yourself, where do you feel that in your body? What does that feel like? For every person, it feels a little different. For me, it feels like a warm flooding up in my heart. It's just this warm feeling. He said, great. Now this is the graphic part. He said, now, Jen, I want you to imagine that basket of puppies and kittens being run over. Still to this day, it's like somebody just took my heart and yanked it right down in my chest. And it's jarring. Like I said, it's very disruptive. And I said, Julian, why on earth would you say that to me? He said, because, Jen, now you know what a yes and a no feels like in your body. When something is a yes, which is the equivalent of the puppies and kittens, overflowing in a basket, that's that feeling of warmth flooding up through your chest. However, when you think of something bad happening to them, that feeling, that pulling down is a no. When you start to play with this and you start to exercise that muscle of tuning in and listening to your heart, you will start to be able to divinely guide yourself to your ideal job, to your ideal partner, to your ideal place to live. I use this whether I'm choosing a new flat. I'm currently traveling around the world and I get very clear yeses and nos. Your heart knows, I think the HeartMath research has shown, 10 seconds before your brain or your stomach or your gut know anything, your heart knows in advance. So play with this technique. Begin to invite yourself to play with your heart. Listen to yeses and nos. Start to ask yourself, what do you truly desire? Now, as you begin to do this, another fun technique that I talk about in 101 Spiritual Tools for Uncertain Times is inner child work. It's actually surprisingly easy. I remember when my friend Wendy Caldwell taught me about it, I was a little apprehensive. I said, what is this inner child work thing and how on earth do I do it? And it can be really fun. You take your right hand, you put it on your heart, you can shut your eyes, or I know some people who like to look at a picture of themselves when they're a little kid. And as you look at that picture of yourself, or as you go internal and you imagine seeing yourself as a little child, You begin to play with yourself internally and have a dialogue. Your inner child might be 6 or 8 or 14, it doesn't matter. And you ask them, what do you need? What matters to you? What do you desire? And in fact, my friend Wendy taught me to call my inner child sweetheart. So I call her sweetheart or my love. And she said for guys, it can be very helpful to call them buddy. And when you start to spend that time asking yourself every day, what do you need? What do you desire? What matters most to you? 2 really powerful things happen. 1, you get to provide what you need for yourself. The reason most of us get upset and frustrated in life is because our needs aren't getting met, and we don't even know what they are. So step 1 is that you get to provide that for yourself, and it allows you to be loving and available for your family and friends or colleagues and communicate to them what you need or fulfill it for yourself. And number 2, you get to know yourself intimately. How many of us know our spouses, our children, our sisters, brothers, friends? We know what matters to them, but we live our lives so out there in the world that we don't take the time to be in here and to be with ourselves. So one of the last things that I wanted to share with you before we get into the meditation today that's actually going to be focused on revealing your heart's desires to you is an idea called virtualization. Many of my favorite teachers, all the stuff that we're getting into right now is actually, much of it is out of book 2 that I'm working on right now on 101 Spiritual Tools, where we talk about intentions and desires, virtualizing and affirmation. So we're barely scratching the surface today. But I do want to teach you a little bit about virtualizing. So there's visualizing, as many of the great leaders and teachers will tell you, ranging from Dr. Joe Dispenza to Bruce Lipton, Michael Beckwith, Deepak Chopra. They all talk about how important it is to visualize what you want and then add an elevated emotion such as love, joy, gratitude. All of the science backs this up. However, something that I learned about is in addition to visualizing what you want, and then adding that positive emotion, the other thing you can do is you can add the senses, the smells, the touches, the tastes. So for example, years ago when I used to own a recruiting company, I had this wonderful team of people and we were like a family. And I remember it was 2017 and they had begged me. They said, Jen, please, we're doing really well. If we hit a certain goal, could we go on a team trip? And I was like, okay, we're a small company. That sounds like fun. So I set a pretty high goal for us. I said, guys, here's the thing. If after our cost we hit this goal, I will take us all to Las Vegas. We will go see a show. We'll go out for dinner. Everybody will get put up in a hotel. However, if we hit the tier goal above that, I'll fly everybody there on a private jet. So that's like a pretty big, fun goal to go for, right? So every day when I would do my meditations, I would visualize and I would virtualize. I would imagine the sounds of our champagne glasses clinking. I would imagine the sounds of the conversation. I would visualize what the inside of the plane would look like. I would taste the champagne. I would smell that they kind of waft through the casinos. And I would see it, touch it, and taste it. And another thing that I would combine in addition to this is one of my favorite chanting techniques, which is an old Buddhist technique called Nam Ye Ho Renge Kyo. It was made popular years ago by Tina Turner, where you could sit, I like to take my mala beads, for example, and face a white wall, and you visualize whatever it is you want. You can virtualize, and you chant for as little or as long as you want, Nam Ye Ho Renge Kyo. And as you look at the white wall and you see whatever it is that you want to have made manifest, it can really begin to expand. So I would do this every day for the private jet. Then one day, it was the end of our third quarter, we were looking at the numbers, and I almost fell out of my chair. It was literally $80,000 beyond what our target goal was. And the team and I did wind up getting to go to Las Vegas that January of 2018. So I share this with you because there's a power to, number one, connecting to your heart, connecting to your inner child, connecting to what it is you desire. Number two, creating your statement of intent, your daily declaration, declaring that out loud every day with vim and vigor. Using techniques, whether it's Buddhist chanting, one thing about that is the more that you desire things, not only for yourself, but for others, that magnifies your capacity to receive. So one of my favorite things I do is when I chant, I only spend about 20% of the time that I'm chanting visualizing something for myself. The other 80% of the time, I think about people who need healing, prosperity, other people. If somebody's trying to get pregnant, I'll send them positive vibes for that. So it's really important that you don't only ask for things for yourself, but that you ask for things that are in the highest and best good of everybody in the world. So I'm going to leave you with a funny story before we go into the meditation. The best thing and most important thing when you're working on manifesting, visualizing, or virtualizing anything that you might desire is to be clear on what you want. Years ago, I think it was 2018, I was giving it was 2018, I was giving a speech in Washington, D.C. And my speech was wrapping up at 5, and I had a flight to catch out of the airport over there at 7 p.m. I had plenty of time. I was not worried about it. I had never missed a flight in my life. So I had to catch this flight to New York at 7. I left my speech at 5, had plenty of time. It was 9 miles away. And we kind of are going around a curve in the Uber, and we get in front of the White House. And it's a standstill, dead stop traffic. Well, I have all these techniques to virtualize, meditate, manifest. And so I start joking with my Uber driver and saying, "Oh, sir, don't worry, it's all going to work out." And we literally inched. We went like 30 minutes. We didn't even move a mile. And it was at that point where I started doing one of my favorite manifestation meditations. If you go to 101spiritualtools.com, you'll notice a blog post on there with a list of all my favorite manifestation meditations and other ones. And you'll find one in there called How to Manifest Anything. One of my favorites. And I did that meditation twice that day. And I saw myself. I could taste it. I could feel it. I could sense myself getting on the plane and sitting on the seat. So I go through all of this, and the Uber driver literally drops me off at the airport. And I have 20 minutes to make it. I get to security, and my boarding pass on my phone doesn't even work. They said, "Sorry, ma'am, you've already passed the window. You have to go to the front and get a special pass." So I run. I get the special pass. I run. People are gracious. They let me cut through the gate lines. I barely make it onto the plane. And I am panting, and they shut the door right behind me. And I'm like, yes, I manifested this. I sit down next to the gentleman who's sitting next to me. We start talking, and I share with him this amazing manifestation story. 10 minutes after I'm sitting there, the pilot comes over and says, "Ladies, gentlemen, this is your pilot. Unfortunately, we will not be taking off tonight due to thunderstorms, and we apologize for any inconvenience, but there are no flights to New York now." And in that moment, I have to share with you, I just started laughing. And I share this with you because be careful what you wish for. Whatever you wish for will always come true. And for me on that particular day, I was committed to getting on the plane, but at no point was I visualizing or virtualizing landing in New York that night. So sometimes you just got to laugh. And I almost honestly imagine fist bumping the universe and just going, "Oh, universe, thank you for that." Because you get to have fun and play with it. And one of my favorite prayers I was actually sharing with Sri offline is a prayer where I say every day, "Universe, please know that I'm going to desire things and make plans with the highest and best of intentions. However, if for any reason these plans are not in my highest and best good or that of humanity, I give you permission to lovingly, easily, and effortlessly redirect those plans to something that is in my highest and best good or that of humanity, and something even better than what I could have anticipated." The universe has your back and is always there trying to support you, not even trying, supporting you, whether you realize it or not, with helping you fulfill your highest and best good. So Sri, whenever you're ready, I don't know if we have any questions before we go into the meditation.
Yes, Jennifer. Friends, if you have any questions, please do put in the chat box. And yes, we received a lot of comments. 1 second. Just 1 second. Yes, Jennifer, we received a lot of comments.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
So, if you have any questions, please do chat. So yes, one guy message. Could you please guide this technique, if possible, while doing meditation session?
Oh, interesting. Actually, it's funny. So for the person who asked that question, there's something that I'm going to do, which is going to help reveal to you your heart's desires in today's meditation. And I'll put it in my consciousness to have a way to tie it in the manifestation aspect at the end. But I think you'll really like it. The meditation I've created already does incorporate a way to reveal your heart's desires and then to have them be made manifest. So we'll see if it gets answered for that person.
Yes. And one more question is, can you please share about alpha waves?
Oh, great. Yeah. So alpha waves, there's theta waves, which are one of the highest levels of brain function, alpha waves, and gamma rays. And from what I understand, I think gamma are the highest level that it's very rare. Maybe monks are able to get into that state without being totally disrupted. But when you're in an alpha wave state, this was interesting. I was listening to a book from Joe Dispenza called Becoming Supernatural, where he does an incredible job of explaining this in the book. But he says, when we're most suggestible is when our brains are receiving subliminal messages at a subconscious level. And he even gave the example in his book. He said, be careful what you watch or listen to right before you go to bed. Sri and I were just talking about this offline, how important it is, because when your brain is in a heightened state of melatonin, your brain is already starting to shut down. That's why you get a little bit more dazed. And sometimes if we watch something that's very violent or we're listening to late night commercials, our brain and body is being altered. Our chemistry is being altered because we are so suggestible when we're in an alpha wave state. So just like when we're going to bed at night, the same is true either when we're in a meditative state, when we're being hypnotized, or when we wake up first thing in the morning. There's a transition period of a couple minutes. That's why I say it's so important to do it, boom, right when your eyes open. You're still in that alpha wave state where you're suggestible. And when you can train your brain to declare out loud what you really want, and even if you wanted to follow that up with virtualizing or visualizing what you want, anything you could possibly want becomes possible. I mean, I could give you a list of many things that myself and other people have manifested, but the trick is to do it every single day, to create it like breathing. You open your eyes and that's what you do, and you will just have miracles falling out of the sky wherever you go.
Yes, true. And the same, one more question is, ma'am, sometimes here is a delay in manifestation process. What could be the reason?
Say that question again.
Sometimes there is a delay in manifestation process. What could be the reason?
Really great question. So I didn't even have time to go into this. Again, we could have talked about this for hours, but in book 2, I'm going to talk a lot about this. Yes. When we want something in our lives, you have to earn it. So imagine if I were to give you $1 million right now, most of what you would think, oh, $1 million, that's the best thing ever. You want to imagine yourself, though, Kabbalistically, I study Kabbalah as well. They talk about how we are a vessel. We are a vessel that has a capacity to hold a certain amount of light, almost like a light bulb. Imagine a light bulb. If you have a 60-watt light bulb, the most light that light bulb can hold is going to be 60 watts until you upgrade it to a 100-watt light bulb. The same is true of us. Like a human being, we are a vessel, and sometimes we don't have the capacity to receive that miracle. So in order to expand ourselves to that 100-watt light bulb that can receive the soulmate, the money, the dream house, you have to first go through 3 challenges. So for me, I get really excited. When I want to manifest something, I start looking for it, because every time that I trip and fall or that I have an opportunity to get really angry, and I pivot, you do the thing that's hardest for you. So say a challenge comes up, our nature is to be reactive, angry, judgmental, whatever it is. And we pivot and we go against our nature in that moment. We do the thing that's hardest for us. we apologize, we don't get upset, or if we do get upset, we get over it quickly. In that moment, you just expand and then we contract, and then we expand and we contract, and we expand and we contract, till finally we can be a 1,000-watt light bulb and we can hold that $1 million. And that's why so many lottery winners lose that money, because they don't have the capacity. So every time that you want something, know that there is going to be the gift of the opportunity to earn whatever it is you want. And so every challenge, smile, and as the Kabbalists would say, what a pleasure. I literally imagine fist bumping the universe. I'm like, oh, universe, I want to go to Paris, and that I'm going to have a couple obstacles in order to be able to receive what I want. So every time I trip and fall or make a mistake, I'm like, oh, thank you. What a delight and a pleasure that you gave me this opportunity to earn what I want.
So true, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes. Yes, now let's go into meditation part. Yeah.
Perfect. Sri, were you going to play a little bit of music in the background?
Yes, I'll be playing. Let's start guiding. I'll be playing now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So first, I invite everybody to get comfortable. And if it feels good for you, you can shut your eyes or let your eyes easily and effortlessly just begin to flutter shut as you get comfortable in the chair, wherever you might be, the chair, if you're laying down, just begin to feel wherever it is that you're sitting or lying. And if it feels comfortable for you, I invite you to put your right hand onto your heart. And I want you to imagine allowing a deep, conscious, slow, loving breath that goes into your heart. And as it goes into your heart, it fills your heart up with a regenerative emotion, such as gratitude, love, grace, whatever feels right to you. And as you release this breath right out of your heart, I want you to visualize releasing that regenerative emotion that you had just imagined, such as joy, peace, or gratitude, as a wish, as a thought, as a prayer for those around you and for the world at large. And now I invite you to allow another deep, easy, effortless, conscious, loving breath right in through the center of your heart. And this time, I invite you to imagine envisioning something or someone that you love, something that sparks the energy of love within you. It might be maybe a pet, a friend, a family member. And visualize holding the image of that person, animal, or thing within your heart. Holding it in your heart and releasing that thing, that person, that animal right out through your heart with the energy of sending love, joy, happiness, and compassion out into the world. And one more time, I would love for you to visualize allowing a conscious, loving, and easy breath right in through the center of your heart. Imagine breathing in through your heart to the count of 5, 6, 7. And this time, as you hold that breath in your heart, imagine expanding that breath. Imagine expanding that breath beyond your body, beyond your room, beyond your city, beyond your state and country, and out into the world, into time and space, and into the world around you. And imagine pulsing love out into the world through that breath. As you release it easy and effortlessly, allow that love to be pulsed out into the world and to touch whoever and whatever it is meant to touch as it expands everything around you. Now I invite you to imagine being in a beautiful place, a place that is calm, that is peaceful, that brings you a greater sense of joy, tranquility, safety, and wholeness. And as you envision this place, begin to notice the details of this safe space, this sanctuary that you've created. Is it a forest? Is it a park? Maybe it's a garden or a beach. Are there bodies of water such as a river or a waterfall or a lake nearby? Take a moment and explore this sanctuary that you've created for yourself, that you enjoy and that makes you feel nurtured and that you feel loved in. Once you have had some time to explore this safe space that you have now created, I want you to visualize finding a soft spot to lay your head down on. Imagine as you lay down being very comfortable, being cocooned in love, ease, and happiness as you drift into a dream. And as you drift into this dream, imagine that there's a beautiful white circle, a bubble of white light right above you in your dream, and that you climb up into it with ease and effortlessly. And in this circle are all the people who have ever loved you in this lifetime or any prior lifetimes. And this bubble of white light is surrounded by righteous thought leaders, Sadiqim, angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Jophiel, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Raphael, bringing you exactly what you need as you're encapsulated in this beautiful bubble of white light. And now in this dream state, these angels lift your bubble of white light up and out of wherever space you're in, up and out through the sky, through the atmosphere, out of the Earth's atmosphere and into the infinity of space. And you begin to move up through these beautiful lights, through white light, dark light, white light, rainbow bands of colors, through beautiful soft pink and gold light, and finally up into a shimmering white light. And as you look around in the shimmering white light, you step out of your bubble and you float easily and effortlessly towards a door on your right that is glittering with beautiful golden handles. And as you move towards this door, you feel it pulling you towards it. And you land safely and you ground yourself. And you see that there are 10 steps as you reach the door. As you get to the edge of the door, you feel your feet. You feel yourself grounded. And you feel the steps below you. Sensing your body as you see the 10 steps, you take the first step, Feeling deeply, deeply relaxed as you feel your foot on the step, and you allow the next step, 9, going deeper. 8, you step down again, feeling every step as you go deeper. 7, taking the next step. 6, and the next. 5, you are halfway there, going deeper and becoming more and more relaxed and in tune with everything around you. 4, you go deeper. 3, you feel your foot on the step. You feel the sensations. You feel the temperature of the steps below you on your feet. 2, 1. You completely and utterly relax. As you get to the final step, you notice the glittering white light all around you and a beautiful sparkling garden filled with crystals, birds, trees, waterfalls, dragonflies. You immediately feel more relaxed and more at peace. And slowly, you start to see and sense a beautiful golden shimmering fog that envelops you. It begins to swirl around the trees, swirl around the flowers, swirl around your feet. And right in front of you, this golden fog creates a screen. On this golden screen, you are beginning to be able to see images, and you start to notice that what is being projected onto this screen is being projected directly from your heart. Your heart's deepest desires are being projected onto this golden fog screen that is right in front of you. Begin to notice any images that might be appearing on the screen. Are they people? Are they places? You might want to put your right hand on your heart as you visualize the screen. And as you do this, I invite you to ask your heart, ask yourself in this deepened state of pure awareness, consciousness, bliss, and all the energy of your infinite desires being fulfilled. Ask yourself, heart, what do you desire most? And listen. Notice if you hear any words. Are there images that accompany those words on the golden screen illuminated in front of you? Are these images moving or are they still? Allow another deep, conscious, loving, peaceful breath. And connect to your heart and ask, heart, is there anything else that you desire that you would like to reveal to me? As you allow another slow, easy, effortless, conscious, loving breath going in through your heart, as your heart's desires are projected right in front of you, observe if there was anything like a movie happening. Are there sounds that accompany that movie? What is your heart trying to tell you? Make a mental note of anything that you're observing on the screen, how does that make you feel? Do you notice feelings perhaps of love or joy as you feel and know with perfect certainty that your heart's deepest desires are being revealed to you both in the meditation and that they will stay with you after the meditation? And to know with absolute perfect certainty that everything and everyone is working for your highest and best good to help you fulfill your heart's deepest desires. Know that the right people will come into your life at the right time, and that they will always have your highest and best good in mind and desire to help you fulfill your heart's deepest desires. And at the right moment, they will leave when they are no longer necessary, so that your path is easy and effortless and smooth, and so that your transition to all of your heart's deepest desires being fulfilled is an easy path, that you are guided divinely by all of your angels, all of your guides, and every person you meet. And that you know with perfect certainty that any potential speed bump that comes up before you or anything that may feel like an obstacle at a time is actually to bring you closer to your heart's desires being fulfilled. And now look around the garden. Take a moment. If your right hand is still in your heart, leave it there, or perhaps put it back there for a moment. And send gratitude to your heart. Thank your heart deeply for revealing your deepest desires and its deepest desires to you. Thank the garden. Thank all of the masters, the guides, the tzaddikim, the angels who help guide you not only right now, but in every moment of every day. And as you look around, notice that there are 5 glittering steps up to a red door. As you go up these 5 steps, you're beginning to feel tingling sensations in your body as your mind, body, and spirit are all aligning with these deep desires that are going to be fulfilled in the world at large. 4, feeling your toes wiggle. 3, starting to feel little tingly sensations in your body. 2, and 1, as you become more aware of right where you left your body, right in that beautiful space, right in that garden. Wherever that safe, beautiful space is, you are now there. You have gone back down through the white light, the dark light, the white light again. You are now in your safe space, and in that space you have retained all of your heart's desires, and you can carry them with you out into the world. And now I want you to imagine that every day with ease and effortlessly, you are able to wake up and see your heart's desires right in front of you, that you're able to declare them to the world with ease and effortlessly, and to know exactly what it is that your heart and your soul needs for its highest and best good. And that every day you wake up and open your eyes, you will be divinely guided to fulfilling your heart's desires. Now I want you to imagine a beautiful glowing white light that is right above your crown. Imagine that white light going down through your crown, right through the top of your head, down through your third eye, through your throat, down through your heart, down through your solar plexus, through your sacral chakra, through your root chakra, down through your legs, your upper legs, lower legs, feet, down through the center of the earth, through the floor, until it reaches the center of the earth. And at that center of the earth, in that white light, I want you to imagine pulling in Mother Gaia Earth energy in that bubble of white light and filling up anything that you want to carry out with you into the day. Do you need strength today? Do you need abundance? Do you want to have gratitude, compassion, love? Imagine just pulling this. There's an infinite amount of whatever you need, and Mother Earth gives it freely to you as she allows you to fill your bubble of white light up, up, up. And as soon as you know you have everything you need right there in that bubble of white light, you shoot it right up from the center of the earth. It shoots up, 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 up through the core, through the ground, through your feet, through your lower legs, upper legs. Your root chakra, you feel the swirling red energy of the root. Your sacral chakra, you feel your desires increasing for everything and your creativity blooming. The orange energy shoots up into your solar plexus. You have more confidence than you've ever had before as that beautiful radiating sunshine energy goes up through your solar plexus, up through your heart, spring green, all of your heart's desires right there being fulfilled now and in the future. Through your throat, a beautiful sky blue energy. Everything you've ever desired to say or speak is available to you now. Through your third eye, indigo energy, you are partnered with the light, with source, and with all the wisdom you ever need. Up through your crown, you are one with everything and everyone. And that bubble of white light goes back down through your crown, down through your third eye, down through your throat, and it rests in your heart, where you can carry it with you now and always. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Really, meditation was amazing. Really, really, really. Like, it's a highly energetic meditation, Jennifer. Thank you so much. My heart is filled with complete joy. Thank you so much. Today's session was so amazing, and your guided meditation was so amazing. Everything was so awesome and perfect. Right. You like right time, right guidance, right people. As you said, we meet right people at the right time. So I met you at the right time, connecting in Triple One Days Global Goddess Meditation Circle. Truly an inspiration, Jennifer. Such an amazing. I'm really touched by your unconditional love, Jennifer. Really, you're such a down-to-earth person. So happy to connect with you and to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sri, and thank you to everybody tuning in out there. That's what we're all about. Ask yourself if you're ever confused. Just ask, how can I be of service? And your path will always be revealed, and your heart's desires will be revealed as well.
Really. Yes, when we connect with the heart space, we can manifest anything in our lives, truly aligned with the universal space. Thank you. Friends, just I'll read out some comments. So, what an attitude, Jennifer. when we accept everything as it is coming instead of cursing the situation, if we thank universe for the lessons it is teaching us through the unfavorable situations. Thank you for sharing this. Madhu from Germany, she messaged. And so many people like Ravi Kiran from London, so many people messaged. Yes, they expressed their gratitude to you. And once again, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you to everybody. It was such a pleasure and a delight. And do check out, if you want to do other meditations, we have every single Monday on Awake TV at 12 p.m. Pacific is free meditations, and there's all sorts of free ones. I was inspired with this meditation by one of the people who is the founder of Wish Beads, Alexa Fisher, who facilitated a different but similar meditation on Awake TV network. If you click on the Coalition for Global Unity, you'll be able to find all the meditations we've done, including Alexa's, which is still one of my favorite meditations I've ever done. So this was inspired by what she did that day.
Yes, definitely. We'll watch your Awake TV, and definitely our Patrice's main concept is to listen from all the masters' experiences, to listen to all the masters. Yes. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Once again, thank you. Namaste.